Well, my name is Billy Bridgewater. I'm from California, Los Angeles, California, and I'm 50 years old. I had my first traumatic brain injury when I was 3 years old. The kids were riding down the railing of a two-story building. I decided I wanted to try it, and they put me up on the railing, but instead of going up on it, I went over it head first into concrete. March 15th of 2017, I went into the hospital to have a schwannoma tumor, which is a tumor that's wrapped around your nerves, removed. It was supposed to only go on my balance nerve, but prior to that, I ended up having radiation therapy that was supposed to shrink it. Instead, it multiplied it by 4. When I went into surgery, they told my son and my family that I'd be into surgery 3 to 4 hours. I'd be out of the hospital in 4 to 6 days. I was in surgery for over 12 hours. I had to be rushed back twice. I was put in a comatose state for 6 weeks in ICU, and during that time, I had a massive infection in my brain, and I had a stroke. If it wasn't for my son signing the paperwork, I wouldn't be here right now. It's affected my, I ended up with 100% hearing loss in the right ear. I'm blind in the right eye. I've got Bell's palsy. I had to have reconstructive surgery because my lower eyelid on my right side went all the way down past my cheek. So they had to bring it back up. I've learned, I've got a lot of deficits. Memory loss is one of the big ones. And I know a lot of people suffer from that, and I do all the time. I can't tell you what we had for dinner last night. I'm learning how to overcome the deficits and compensate for them. I went through voc rehab. They told me I wasn't able to work. All I would ever do was 4 hours of sedentary work a month, and that was it. And now I volunteer at a place called Let's Begin Again. It's a resale boutique that helps benefit traumatic brain injury survivors, and I do that 3 days a week for 4 hours a day. So that's 12 hours a week. And then I also volunteer for Brain Injury Alliance, which is a good organization for anybody that's new. They provide referrals and resources for brain injury survivors and their families and caregivers. So here in Arizona, so if you need anything, reach out to them. I also got involved with another organization that I really truly believe in, and that's the Don't Disabilities. The founder of that is an awesome young lady. She's got a heart of gold, and she's got a vision that I really encompass and want to be a part of.
Well, thank you. That means a lot.
Since I've had this traumatic brain injury, I've gotten to know more about the disability community than I ever have. And I've noticed a lot of people don't accept us for being disabled, regardless. I mean, with my traumatic brain injury, you could tell I have one. But I know plenty of people that looking at them, you would not tell that they have a traumatic brain injury. So they look normal, they act normal, everything else, but there is problems there, and people don't accept that. The one big issue that I see in my community, regardless if it's traumatic brain injury, cerebral palsy, Bell's, whatever, is people get treated wrong. We get treated like we're invisible. And like I have a friend, Luis, he wants something, he'll order it, we'll order it for him, and they bring it and hand it to me instead of handing it to him. He's a person, he's right there. Because it's like, hey, just because we're disabled, we're still here. We deserve to be recognized just like every Joe Schmo down the street. We need to educate people, and people in our community should not be scared to stand up for their rights. We should be able to talk, because I see it all the time in the regular, normal community, as they say, that they stand up and they talk and they say, hey, this isn't right and everything else. Well, the disability community needs to stand up and say, hey, we're not going to take this no more. This is what we're going through. Learn about it. Ask questions if you think, because like you got people like with a brain injury that don't look like they have one. They have a disabled plaque. They park at a handicap spot, and people give them dirty looks. Oh, you're not disabled. You don't know what they're going through. Instead of sitting there making judgments like that, ask them, because I have my good days and I have my bad days. And when I'm having a bad day, it's like, oh no. And especially in the Phoenix heat, I have more bad days than good, because I could be out there for 20 minutes and I'm ready for a 4-hour nap. I think if you want to know what I really feel, I feel that education is big and people need to stand up. People need to talk. People need to tell people, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we go through, because the one thing I see in the disability community, especially when people are newly disabled, they lose all their friends, their family turn on them, everything else. I mean, luckily, my mom hasn't done that. It's like people use, and the one thing that pisses me off and people need to learn is to stand up and tell people, you just because I'm disabled doesn't mean you have the right to use that against me, and put a stop to it. Because a lot of people try, oh well, you got a brain injury so you won't remember, so I can do this and get away with it. And luckily I have somebody that stands by my side, so it's like he'll remind me so I don't forget.